Be ready. 5 seconds. My dear countrymen and the family members of the global community, after a few days from December 1 onwards, India will be holding the G20 presidency. This is a historic occasion for India. Today, in this context, the website, theme, and logo of this summit have been launched. I congratulate all the countrymen on this occasion. The G20 is a group of countries whose economic potential represents 85% of the world's GDP. The G20 is a group of those 20 countries that represent 75% of the world's trade. The G20 countries that comprise two-thirds of the world's population. And India is now going to lead and chair this G20 group. You can imagine what a big opportunity has come before the country in the Amrit Kal of independence. It is a matter of pride for every Indian. It is a matter of increasing one's pride. And I am happy that the G20 summit, the curiosity and activism about the events related to it in India is constantly increasing. The countrymen have also played a big role in the creation of this logo that has been launched today. We had asked the countrymen for their valuable suggestions for the logo, and I am very happy to know that thousands of people sent their creative ideas to the government. Today, those ideas, those suggestions are becoming the face of such a big global event. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all for this effort. This logo of the G20 is not just a symbol, it's a message. It's a feeling that is in our veins. This is a resolution that has been included in our thinking. The spirit of universal brotherhood that we have been living through the mantra of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is being reflected in this logo and the theme. In this logo, the lotus flower is depicting India's mythological heritage, our faith, our intellectualism, all these together. Through this logo and theme, we have given the message that this philosophy should become a medium to solve today's global conflicts and dilemmas. Through the G20, India is giving new energy to the global reputation of Buddha's message for freedom from war and Mahatma Gandhi's solution in resistance to violence. India's G20 presidency is coming at a time of crisis and chaos in the world. The world is going through the after effects of a disruptive, once in a century pandemic, conflicts, and a lot of economic uncertainty. The symbol of the lotus in the G20 logo is a representation of hope in these times. No matter how adverse the circumstances, the lotus still blooms. Even if the world is in a deep crisis, we can still progress and make the world a better place. In Indian culture, both the goddess of knowledge and prosperity are seated on a lotus. This is what the world needs most today. Shared knowledge that helps us overcome our circumstances, and shared prosperity that reaches the last person at the last mile. This is why the G20 logo, the earth is placed on a lotus too. The 7 petals of the lotus in the logo are also significant. They represent the 7 continents. 7 is also the number of notes in the universal language of music. In music, when the 7 notes come together, they create perfect harmony. But each note has its own uniqueness. Similarly, G20 aims to bring the world together in harmony while respecting diversity. Friends, it is true that whenever there is a conference of big platforms like G20 in the world, it has its own diplomatic and geopolitical implications. It's also natural. But for India, this summit is not just a diplomatic meeting. India sees this as a new responsibility for itself. India sees this as the world's faith in itself. Today, there is an unprecedented curiosity in the world to know India, to understand India. Today, India is being studied in a new light. Our current successes are being assessed. Unprecedented hopes are being expressed about our future. In such a situation, it is the responsibility of us countrymen to do much better than these hopes and expectations. It is our responsibility to introduce the world to India's thinking and strength, to India's culture and social power. It is our responsibility to enhance the knowledge of the world with the intellectualism of our thousands of years old culture and the modernity contained in it. The way we have lived the idea of Jai Jagat for centuries and millennia, today we have to bring it alive and present it to the modern world. We have to connect everyone. Everyone has to be made aware of global duties. They have to wake up to their own participation in the future of the world. Today, as India is going to chair the G20 presidency, this event is a reflection of the strength of 130 crore Indians for us. Today, India has reached this point, but behind this is our very long journey of thousands of years, infinite experiences. We have seen thousands of years of opulence and splendor. We have also seen the darkest period in the world. We have seen days where we have been forced to live centuries of slavery and darkness. Faced with so many invaders and atrocities, India has reached here today with a vibrant history. Today, those experiences are India's biggest strength in its development journey. After independence, we started a long journey starting from zero, targeting the peak. This includes the efforts of all the governments that have been in power for last 75 years after independence. All the governments and the citizens together tried to take India forward in their own way. We have to move forward with this spirit today with a new energy. India's thousands of years old culture has taught us one more thing. When we strive for our progress, we also envision global progress. Today, India is such a rich and living democracy of the world. We also have the values of democracy and a proud tradition in the form of Mother of Democracy.